I am resident of Collinwood for YouTube Joel Sains with my buddy Patrick McCray, author of the Dark Shadows Daybook and the Dark Shadows Daybook Unbound. We're here to talk Dark Shadows episode 793. What we're going to do is we're going to do Count Patofe episodes, and then we're going to cover a movie, then an episode, etc., etc., etc.
Not all in the same night.
No. Not all on the same night, thank God. But tonight we're going to start with Count Patofe. Episode 793. Lewis Edmonds is here as Edward Collins. There, David is here as Victor Fengivens. That's aka Count Patofe, but we don't know that yet.
Spoiler alert.
Laura Parker here as Angelique.
Yes.
David Selby is Quentin Collins. Terry Crawford is Beth. And Michael Stroka is Aristide, who gets choked out by Angelique. By a voodoo doll.
A toka, a midnight stroka.
I actually love how Michael Stroka is so giddy about seeing a magic trick, like his Aristide is.
He loves it.
Yeah.
That's how Patofe's, got him roped in there. He wants to know how he makes the flags of the world appear. How the silks just keep coming out of his sleeve.
How because we knew Aristide was seeking the hand before at Evan Hanley's with Quentin and stuff.
That's
How
right.
shocked! This is the episode we find out that Aristide's not just working for himself; he's working for somebody else.
Yes.
So, when you first saw this, how shocked were you to find out he was working for somebody else?
I'm shocked he could get a job at all. That someone would hire him. It didn't. It made sense because he seems like a flunky.
Yeah.
He does not seem like the end of the road in terms of evil. So, yeah.
I like how he has a knife for a weapon.
The dancing lady.
Yeah, and
the dancing lady.
And he has a nickname for it, like you just said, like the dancing lady. It's really cool, and but here you find out he has a weakness. It's women. Beautiful.
Never would have guessed it. If you watch him in any other episode, doesn't occur to me.
Well, he sort of. There's an episode where he's at. I think it's the Blue Whale or the Eagle. I forget which. And he sees Julianka, and he's sort of talking to her and flirting with her.
He is.
He has a thing for ladies. Definitely ladies like Angelique, who
I think he wants to know where they got those shoes.
Who chokes him out with the handkerchief and gets the hand of Count Andreas Patofe back for Quentin, who has a deformed face in this. And we meet Victor Ben-Gibbons as he kicks Aristide. He nudges him, or if you will, kicks him awake. This is the day. Technically, this is the debut of Count Patofe, but we don't know that yet. What did you think of this mystique here? Because he's not saying he's Count Patofe. He's going under a completely different name.
I didn't know who it was. I thought this was a new character. This can't be the Count Patofe. He's got a hand.
Yeah. And we didn't know it was a fake hand at the time.
No. It felt real, Your Honor.
And here's the thing. He doesn't, in this episode, he doesn't display any magical powers. The writers, again, Gordon Russell, who wrote this episode, does a really good job of not tipping the hand of the character,
Yes.
And I love, he goes, all my credentials in order. And as you touched upon, Edward is letting a lot of people stay at Collinwood. Angelique.
He's like he's running a hotel.
Yeah, it feels that way too.
He lets Angelique stay there. He lets Count Patofe stay there. Everybody stay. Hitler shows up, lets him stay there. Pol Pot, Idi Amin works the kitchen.
For that, I'm going to leave a link to the episode in the description box when we're done. For those who want to go watch this episode, Angelique says Duvall. Her last name is Duvall, which is really interesting because this, to me, I think this is the first time we hear that prior to going back in time to 1840 and hearing her name is Miranda Duvall.
Yes.
But so we hear that here, and she convinces Edward, who has become, as you so gracefully put, a monster hunter in every way he has.
He's not a man to mess with at this point.
What do you think if you had to give Edward a weapon of choice? What do you think he would pick?
Oh, it's crossbow.
Yeah, that would be
Crossbow.
awesome. That
Yeah.
would be awesome. I could see. I love Lewis Edmund. I've always loved Lewis Edmonds' mustache for Edward here.
That's another weapon. But the crossbow kind of matches the mustache, and I think his symbol would be a crossbow with a big mustache over it where the bow part is.
Yeah.
That's his logo. Like it'd be on his under tunic when he would pull his shirt open. We would see that.
So Victor Ben Givens has a note for the York of Hampshire to to con Edward with. And Edward falls for it. He reads the letter. He goes, "Oh,
I can't believe it.
You're recommended." And so, slowly but surely, once again, Edward is unbeknownst to him, he's surrounding himself with the supernatural, with Angelique, Victor
He has
Van
no
Gogh.
idea. He's
Yeah.
just a dupe. He's a flunky. Little does he know.
Was Kolchak on the air by this point or no?
Oh no.
No.
Well, Kolchak was several years away, I think.
You look at characters on Dark Shadows like Julia Hoffman, like the character here for Liz Edmonds, Edward Collins. You have a very Kolchak feel with these characters in a way.
It's sort of. The thing is, Edward lacks humility.
Yeah, he does.
And the other characters don't. The Edward's executive summary reads as this: often wrong, seldom in doubt.
Yeah. In fact, when Barnabas comes back as a human, because Angelique made a doppelganger Barnabas for 1897, that him and Quentin, which is actually Count Potofe and Quentin's body, are ready to strike down Barnabas the mortal.
That's right. Innocent man.
I'm going to quote Unforgiven. Innocent of what?
Yeah, well, they wanted to shoot him dead because he was snoring too loud.
Yeah,
like John Wesley Hardin.
In the doctor's office, for sure.
It's true.
The makeup in this episode, I always feel Dark Shadows does not get enough credit for its makeup. And man, what a makeup job for David Selby to be putting on to cover up that handsome face of his.
It's a little bit Quest for Fire, He's a little bit Cro-Magnon, a caveman Quentin, rather than the upstanding Homo erectus we all know.
Terry Crawford almost steals this a bit in a way, because she gets away with lying to Edward. And she says she's going to go look for Quentin, and she's actually searching for Barnabas at the old house. And I love how David Selby's Quentin is sitting there. It's dark in the chair, and you see that horrid looking face. It's a great reveal.
It is.
What did you think of? Because again, there's no giveaway to Count Potofe here. They're not revealing that yet, but we've heard the name Count Potofe.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any expectation that we were going to get that when you first watched this?
Yes, because I'd read Catherine Lee Scott's book.
Oh, okay.
But that's the only reason why. There's so much mythology that gets built in at this point. Who knows?
Yeah. I did not, like, when I first watched DS, I had no clue like what was coming. And because though there was a Dark Shadow, there was www at the time, there was www.darkshadows.com. I did my best not to look at the storylines. So because I wanted to be surprised.
Sure.
And this episode is really well built and written for a new character to debut, like Victor Ben Givens. Mm-hmm. And he's got this cover going on at York of Hampshire. It's like, man, this guy's probably evil, and yet he has a henchman that's pretty slick and evil too. You're wondering what is their end game other than the hand, because a lot of people at this point seem obsessed with the hand. Angelique, Barnabas, Quentin. They want it all for the. Angelique wants to cure Quentin because she wants to get married to Quentin. That's the deal they make in this episode. What did you think of Angelique's "Marry me, Quentin, and I'll cure you" here?
It seems a pretty good deal. You get cured of being a werewolf, and you get Angelique for a wife. I mean, all she wants is for some guy to marry her. She's beautiful. She's all powerful. I don't see the downsides here. I do not understand what's wrong with these Collinsport men.
Dysfunctional marriages are in the contract, I think.
Okay, I can think of no one I would rather, have it as. She seems great. As long as you didn't make her too mad. There'd be a lot of yes dear with Angelique around.
Yeah, there really would. So happy
Yes,
happy birthday to the late Laura Parker, obviously, today.
yes.
Yeah.
That came up on my calendar today.
Yeah. But and what a performance too, because she, like we talked about, she gets the hand from Aristide and she lights the candles. She tells Beth to go home. There's nothing you can do here. And I love the conversation between Terry Crawford's character, Beth, and Angelique. He's like, Beth, will you do anything for me? You love me? Yes. And go home. And she does.
Nice.
You can really tell that Beth was really in love with Quentin.
Yes.
I love Terry Crawford's Beth. It's one of the, and you've pointed this out too. It's why that Jameson Elizabeth, most likely. You've pointed that out to me several times.
Yeah.
What an amazing character, and it's a character we first meet as a ghost.
Oh yeah, and impossibly beautiful.
Oh
when we first see her, really, literally haunting.
Oh my God, yeah, yeah. The Ghosts and Dark Shadows always came across haunting, even like Josette, even to a degree. But when we get the like full human ghosts, we don't get like the white looking. They're even just as scary. Yeah, they're just as scarier.
Oh yeah,
and really well done. I would say James Storm steals the show as a ghost, if you will.
Yeah.
But with this, again, Quentin's a werewolf. And by the end of this episode, we see in the window of the old house before they light it up and fully see him, you see Victor Van Given's Thayer David's character sort of looking through the window, which I love how they shoot that on the soundstage.
Mm-hmm.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how did Angelique is in very much danger here because the hand is not working. We know it has a mind of its own.
Yes.
This thing is otherworldly powerful. What did you think of the hand of Patofe here?
Silly and awesome, all at the same time.
Yeah. This was, in every way, this was Dark Shadow's Infinity Gauntlet. I mean,
yes. It has a ring to it.
Yeah, it doesn't need a glove. It doesn't need some fancy little gems. It's and what's amazing, what's something we're going to find out too is Patofe doesn't need the hand to use magic. He already has magic.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the hand makes him even more powerful, and it's something he can. Well, at the time when he had it, he could control it because it was his hand.
Yeah.
What were your? I know this happens later, but what were your thoughts on? Because when he gets it back, he has some trouble controlling it. What did you think of that?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it absolutely makes sense. I think they handled it very organically.
Yeah. When they kill off Barnabas, not really, but Jonathan Frid goes away. He does dial. I think he does what? Dial M for murder.
Yes.
How shocked were you that they did that on air?
Pardon?
How shocked were you?
Oh, it was a ballsy move. And to not come back from it the next day, yeah. that was a hell of a summer. That was a hell of a moment.
It's one of the most shocking. Again, I didn't live through the 60s, but it's one of the most shocking moments on DS that happened in 1897, because Angelique is somebody who keeps warning Barnabas, hey, you don't get out of here, you're going to die. And when he does, I love how they make Laura Parker's character be present during this.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, not in this episode, but it does happen later on. And it's like, you're shocked that they went this far with it. And like you said, it's ballsy as hell that it happens.
Absolutely.
This episode, who had the worst looking makeup from a facial standpoint? Evan Hanley or Quentin? You think?
Oh, Humbert.
Yeah.
Gets stuck with it, no question.
The fact, here's the biggest difference too. I don't know if I'm trying to remember if Quentin's character was in jail as the werewolf before this happened. I'm not sure.
So I think so.
Yeah. Evan Hanley's character, he's at his house. He just gets
At least
mad.
he was at home when it happened.
Yeah. And he's actually, when this all comes back around, he's hesitant to do anything with the hand again.
I would be. I'm not getting near that thing. It shocked the hell out of me on Curse of Chandu.
It was really interesting to finally see an actual supernatural element have nobody really wielding it at the time, really, or trying to wield it, and it has a mind of its own.
Yes.
Because I hadn't seen a hand with a mind to think since Adam's Family.
Mm-hmm.
And
I was about to mention Thing. Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think of that? That we have Thing in the Adams Family, and we have the Hand of Potofi.
Yeah, I mean, the Hand of Potofi just has this element of greater mystery to it that even Potofi doesn't quite understand how it works.
Yeah.
That it truly has a mind of its own.
And it's that's the thing too. It's years of separation between the hand and its owner, because it's almost 100 years, I think.
Yes.
And if it hits 100, Potofi, I think, will die or something.
Maybe. I mean, there's every Marvel Comics kind of gimmick in this, so sure, throw that one in also.
But the gypsies, I mean, I do hope, like, if Mark B. Perry gets the series off the ground, I do hope we get the backstory of Potofi and the gypsies and what that war began like.
It's a big, big, big mythos to wander around in. I think that's on my wish list also. Yeah. But I think it's going to be a while. I don't think it's going to be episode 1.
No, it's not. It's definitely. Would it be nice? Yeah, sure. But no.
Sure. Yeah. And then cut to Mark saying, "Well, I'm out. That's it. That's all I had. Had a good backstory in Potofi's hand." So I guess it's roll up the sidewalk. No.
You know who I hope they get to play if they do the gypsies? Who they get to play a version of King Johnny?
I don't know. It's probably a wrestler. Who is it?
No, Javier Bardem.
Oh, he'd be marvelous. He'd be terrific.
Yeah, I'd love to see him.
He would also be good as Julia.
Oh,
square jaw.
Yeah. Yeah. What's your favorite scene in this episode, Patrick?
Gosh. I think anything involving the weird deformed Quentin.
Yeah.
I enjoy those.
I really love the scenes between Angelique and Edward. They're really good because he's grilling her.
They are.
He's not. He does eventually fall for what she's saying, but Laura Parker does a really good job of being what feels like being so sincere, because you see the pain in her face in a bit.
Yes.
And I do think she's thinking about the moment she turned Barnabas into a vampire.
I think so.
Really, really great job by both her and Louis Edmonds.
No doubt.
I think we both love Sarah David's debut as Fisherman.
He's magical, luminous.
Who came up with the look for him? Do you know?
I think David did.
Cool.
Yeah, that's the impression I got.
He looks so, even with all like the sideburn, he looks so menacing.
Yes, he does.
even with that soft, because he says, I can't talk above a whisper. I'm thinking, you're talking pretty good.
Oh
um,
no, it's just some weird character affectation.
yeah, I somewhat believe him that he had an injury to his throat, though.
It could be.
That's
Could
something I
be.
can see happening to Count Patofe, if you will.
New Year's party gone wrong.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Let me see. I want to check something. Yeah, Gordon Russell, yeah, he did write this episode.
Yeah.
This was broadcast July 9th, 1969 on a Wednesday. It was recorded July 1st, 1969 on a Tuesday. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Coincidence? I think not.
No, no, not at all. I tell you what, too, I do love how in this episode we don't get an upstairs shot of Collinwood. We just get the ground floor, and we get the old house, and we do get a dock shot of Aristide on the ground. Michael,
Yeah.
he does a really good. Michael Sherker does a really good job of falling down here.
He falls down like he's been doing it his whole life.
Well, I do remember, like, we had done Manchurian Candidate on this channel, and
Yeah.
I remember how in an interview the late great Angela Lansbury had said about people commenting, "Hey, you die well on camera." And I can't imagine how hard it is for an actor or actress to like learn how to fall down.
It's hard to say.
Yeah,
It's hard to say.
but
For some, it's the only way they get any rest.
but he does it so well here. He sells the choking really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
I love he's not overreacting at all, and I love Michael Stroker for it. And the fact that they're gonna write him as Bruno in parallel time and be obsessed with Angelique is funny too.
Yeah, it is.
So, oh, um, is there anything you want to add for this episode?
No, it's a great episode. Go watch it.
Yeah, it linked to Patrick's book, Dark Shadows Day Book of Mouth's going to be in the description box. Link to this episode's going to be in the description box. Say hi, you hi.
Zesty. You
Yeah,
get away from Springfield will be the main course.
that's it. Hey, what movie would you like to cover tomorrow night?
Do you want to do a scary movie? Or you want to do one of the spy movies?
One of the spy movies.
Then let's do The Silencers, the first of the Matt Helm epics.
Where can I find it? Do you know?
Well, anyway, it's been nice talking to you. Somewhere online. We'll find out.
All right, I'll try to track it down, my friend. You have a good night, buddy.
Okay, bye.
Bye.